So we've got the status quo then, after a week of intense negotiations, and we've got two men doing jobs they didn't actually want to do at the outset of this process. I don't know about dysfunctionality. Plenty of political systems around the world, democracies can look fairly dysfunctional at times. But what does this tell us then about where we go next in Italian politics?
Well, it's pretty amazing, Anna, that actually you end up with a status quo when the president had repeatedly said that, A, he did not want a second term, 2, that he wanted to retire, and 3, that he was even flat hunting. So really, this is a man that does not want the job. So I would go as far as saying this is dysfunctional because of the system that was extremely opaque, that was extremely secretive. It's extremely difficult to understand how it's possible that the parties couldn't couldn't come up with a new name. Now, this is one of the great mysteries in Italian politics, is that you have a system to elect a president which is, opaque and secretive. And so last week we're here on the rooftops for the whole week, and you had names being dropped in and dropped out every 2 hours. So you had a number of names that the different political factions would come up with, and then they would be shot down by the rest of the lawmakers. So, the question is, what does it mean for the governing parties? So you have a coalition. We know that it's very fragile. We know that Mario Draghi is staying at top of that. But does it mean that they're going to be very raucous? Does it mean that they're going to fight even more because their candidate couldn't become president of the republic? That's, one of the things that we need to watch out for.
Good morning, Francine. When it comes to markets, though, does the fact that Mario Draghi is continuing as PM mean stability, or are we just postponing the real problem here?
Well, for the moment, it's stability, certainly in the short term, but we are postponing the real problem. Now, there are two schools of thoughts, Mark. One is saying, look, Mario Draghi, former ECB, he really brought credibility to the Italian economy over the last 11 months that he was in charge. Together with the president, they mentioned, they brought back stability. They were able to access these EU funds that are really the linchpin of what Italy needs, but also for the program in Europe. You need Italy to do well because they're the biggest recipient of these EU funds. Longer term, there are a couple of questions on how Mario Draghi will govern. So we knew that he wanted to be president of the republic. Does it mean that his usual style of I listen to everyone, but at the end of the day, I take the tough decisions will change because he wants to be elected? So will he be much more friendly, and therefore will he be more of a lame duck with a lot of the parties because he wants to be elected as president in 1 or 2 years? And then the longer term question is, of course, what happens when we go to elections in 2023? If the parties can't get along and actually agree on a party, what does it mean for when the parliaments get dissolved? What does it mean for EU reform? So you could see a lot more bickering in the shorter term, but the market for the moment is saying, right, Mario Draghi, safe pair of hands, he's still in charge. The president, Mattarella, also a safe pair of hands, he's still in charge, so everything's well.